From Cheater's surveillance cameras, you are about to view actual true stories filmed live, documenting the pain of a spouse or lover caused by infidelity. This program is both dedicated to the faithful and presented to the false-hearted to encourage their renewal of temperance and virtue. Coming up on this episode of Cheaters.
They're at this park sitting together.
What are you doing? Our son is sick, and you're here with her?
She's 9 weeks pregnant, and then you're sitting here with this woman crying about something?
I've been trying to find an egg donor.
Why couldn't you just tell me this?
Real reality television is brought to you by Cheaters Detective Agency's Private Eyes on Cheaters.
Claudia Adams has issues concerning her husband's webpage history. Frustrated and confused, Claudia comes to Cheaters to get help straightening out the truth. I'm Clark Gable, and this is Cheaters.
Well, we've been married for 5 years, and we have a son named Nacho, who's 2. It's actually been great. The marriage has been awesome until just a little bit ago that his actions have been totally different. So lately, he's been very distant with me. We usually talk about our day and if we have any plans for the weekends, and he just hasn't been very talkative like he usually is.
Adam Adams, age 26, a business consultant accused of backroom meetings with another woman. Receiving the suspect's itinerary from an anxious Claudia, Cheaters operatives wait outside their Mark's workplace. At the end of the day, Adams leaves and drives to an unknown apartment building. He pulls up next to the building. A young woman waiting by the building runs to his car and gets in. Unknowingly tailed by Cheaters investigators, Adams and his passenger drive across town. They stop at an unknown office building and go inside. Sometime later, Adams escorts the young lady back to her car. They drive off, again followed by a Cheaters mobile unit. Adams and his friend arrive at a shopping district this time.
Like the other day, I was gonna email my friend and I accidentally saw his browsing history on the internet and saw that he's been checking out Russian prostitute sites. And I thought we had a really healthy sexual relationship, and now it kind of got me wondering, why would he be looking at that? Why is he even looking somewhere else if he's getting what he wants at home? He's also saying that he's putting in extra hours at work and he's been staying later, but the money isn't adding up. We're actually behind on bills, and I'm the one in charge of the bookkeeping at the house, so I know what's coming in and what's going out, and it's just not adding up.
The suspect and his paramour go into a pastry shop to indulge their desire for sweets. Sometime later, Adams escorts his woman back to his ride. Their destination this time happens to be yet another shopping strip. The suspect drops his friend off and drives home to his lonely wife.
Adam said he would always be faithful to me and be honest and straight up and just always be there for me, and right now he's not. He's being very selfish, not thinking about his family, his son, our future. And if he's cheating, I don't know if I could be with him. I don't think I'm mentally strong for that.
Cheaters operatives once again set up watch around the suspect's workplace. Late in the day, Adams leaves work. Cheaters detectives follow the suspect to a nearby store. Shortly, he returns with a woman from previous surveillance, now identified only as Amelia. Cheaters field agents tail the pair to the office building they previously visited. After some time, Adams and Amelia exit the building. The pair appear to have received good news, as indicated by the kick in Adams' step. The suspect arrives at his other woman's home, and after dropping Amelia off, drives himself home to Claudia. Staking out the Adams home, the Cheaters surveillance team spots the suspect leaving. Cheater's agents dutifully follow Adams as he travels across town to arrive at a darkened park. The suspect meets with his companion at the swing set. Adams and Amelia have an animated conversation. At some point, Adams drops down on one knee as though proposing. A few minutes later, Adams and his cozy companion walk the short distance to the suspect's vehicle. Adams drives his friend back to her apartment complex. This time, the suspect walks Amelia to her door and then enters and stays a while. A little later, the suspect leaves his companion's apartment, and as Adams heads home to his worried wife, Cheater's agents close the case and begin compiling the report for Claudia's evaluation. Coming up, the confrontation.
With her husband's secret meetings now discovered, Cheaters calls on Claudia to provide the information. Her greatest fears at hand, Claudia remains strong in her pursuit of the truth. Claudia, I want to say thank you for coming out. I understand you're going through a lot right now. So understanding that you guys have been together for 5 years, you have a son that is 2 years old.
Yes.
And what's your son's name?
Nacho.
Nacho. And had you guys have any other further plans?
Our plan was to get pregnant again, and I'm actually 9 weeks right now.
You're 9 weeks pregnant?
Yes.
Really? And is he aware of this? Okay. With that being said, Claudia, as you know, we have conducted our investigation. And my question for you is, are you prepared to see what we have come up with? Okay.
Yeah.
We begin our investigation outside of Adam's workplace. So when we see Adam emerge, he gets into his vehicle and he drives away. Our detectives follow. A short time later, he arrives at this apartment complex. That's when we see this unknown female in a white dress approach Adam's car. She gets in and they leave together. They then arrive at this unknown building. Do you recognize her at all, Claudia?
I don't.
They go inside the building for a few moments, and sometime later they emerge, get back into Adam's vehicle, and they drive away. Our detectives follow them as they arrive at a shopping district. They get out of the vehicle and walk into a cupcake eatery. That's when we see them sit down together, enjoying some ice cream, conversing back and forth. We see Adam explaining a few things. A few moments later, they exit the cupcake diner, get back into Adam's vehicle together. A few moments later, he drops her off at another strip mall, and then Adam proceeds to return home for the evening. On this day of our investigation, we are outside of your residence. A short time later, Adam emerges and he gets into his vehicle. That's when our detectives follow him as he arrives at a park. He walks over to the swings and sits down next to that unknown female. After playfully talking on the swing set, things get a little bit more heated and he gets on his knees trying to explain a certain point. We're not really sure of what that is at this time, but then he walks away and receives a phone call. What you're about to hear is the audio from that phone call, Claudia. Tell me if you remember this.
Hey, babe, what's up?
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, just running around, fiddling around trying to run some errands.
Okay, do you mind running some errands for me?
Really busy right now.
But so busy.
Babe, I just told you I'm out.
I mean, what could be more important than our family? You can't just be there.
Babe, I'm there all the time. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can do this. I'll try to get the dog food, and I'll get it done. Have dinner ready for me when I get home.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you recall that conversation?
Yeah, I guess that's why he was so busy.
After finishing up the conversation with you, he goes over the swing set, grabs this unknown female, and they walk out of the park. He then escorts her to his vehicle, opening up the door for this complete stranger once again, and they drive away from the park. As our detectives follow, they arrive at her apartment complex. He then escorts this unknown female to her apartment building, where he stays for a few hours, and a while later, we see him emerge, get back into his vehicle, and he returns home to you for the evening. Claudia, at this point in time, we know where they're at. Why don't we get in the vans and get to their location, and then we'll wait for our lead detective from there. Yeah. All right? Right this way, please. Right this way. You're right there.
What was this?
What are you doing?
Nothing.
What are you doing?
Nothing. We're talking.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Our son is sick.
What?
And you're here with her?
Who
is she? Who is she?
She's Kelsey's friend.
Adam, do you have anything to say about what's going on right now?
I don't know what's going on.
Do you recall the night where you picked this lady up right here and took her to a building, got a piece of paperwork? You kind of did a little horse jump when you went over to your car after opening up the door for her?
Yeah, I remember that. Like, what about it?
She's 9 weeks
Really?
pregnant with your second child. And then you're sitting here with this woman crying about something?
You're pregnant?
Yes, I'm pregnant.
Wow. I've been trying to find an egg donor because we've been having so much problem, and now you're telling me you're pregnant?
Yes, I'm pregnant. Why couldn't you just tell me this?
Because I didn't want to
Why
put
did
this.
you have to lie to me?
I've been working my butt off. I didn't want to put the stress on you. Like, get these guys out of here.
So who are you going to put the stress on then, Adam? Her?
I've been trying to hold this in.
How did you even meet
We
her?
just met. We met through
How?
Kelsey.
How?
Kelsey set us up, and she told me that I told her my problems about you wanting to we couldn't have a baby. We were trying to have a baby. I've been married to you for 5 years, and you don't trust me?
You couldn't
Are
tell
you
me?
kidding me?
Coming up next, the conclusion.
They're at this park sitting together.
What are you doing? Our son
talking.
is sick.
She's 9
really?
weeks pregnant. And then you're sitting here with this woman crying about something?
I've been trying to find an egg donor.
Why couldn't you just tell me this?
How are you doing today? I apologize about all the cameras and everything, but can I have your side of the story so we can get a real picture about what's going on here? What did this man tell you?
He got a hold of me through a friend, a mutual friend. She can't get pregnant. He would be paying me to be the egg donor.
This is something serious. This is something
trying
serious.
for 5 years.
You could tell me. You could talk to me.
I know.
That's 5 years.
I understand we've been together for 5 years, but are you kidding me?
You couldn't just tell me.
You went to these
you
guys
couldn't
instead
just-
of coming to talk to me? You couldn't talk to me? How could you think I was cheating on you?
How
We
can I
just
not
had
think
sex
that?
this morning, and you telling
How
me you
can
think
I
I'm
not
cheating on
think
you?
that? When you're missing, you're supposedly at work, you're doing all this and that. How am I not supposed to think that? You can't even tell me, you can't even talk to me like a husband and a wife? Tell me.
I don't know. I don't know what you want to hear right now. Like,
This like isn't like a romantic thing. Like I was helping.
No,
you.
but he's taking you out to cupcakes. Really? You opening the door, you going into her house, getting out late.
Do I
How
open
is
the
that?
door for you?
No, you haven't.
are you kidding me?
You know when was the last time you opened the door for me?
When?
When we're actually dating.
Do you care about Nacho right now?
Did you
know
care?
What? No, don't even worry about it. Let me prove it to you. Let me
Do
call
you
Kelsey.
care?
Yes, I care.
You don't need to call anyone. I can show you how much you care about Nacho right here. Here's the phone conversation of you saying that you wanted her. You hear that?
The dog food, and I'll get it done. Have dinner ready for me when I get home.
When I asked you
Bye.
about doing me a favor because Nacho was sick.
So while Nacho
And you
was
were with
sick,
her?
You're with her on the swings.
Yes, I'm trying to console her. She wanted to back out, and I wanted to make sure this would go through.
But
I
you
didn't
lied.
put all this hard time in it for nothing to come out empty-handed. Sorry.
Claudia, why don't we do this? You guys seem like you have a little bit more to talk about. Why don't we get out of here, get to a little bit more of a secluded location where it's quiet, and you guys can talk this out. Does that sound okay? Is that okay with you? All right, right this way. Come on. I apologize for this. What was your name?
Amelia.
Amelia, we're going to have a detective take you to your home, and I just want to say it's very generous of you to donate something for someone, but they had a lot more going on than what met your eyes.
Clearly.
Well, I do apologize for this, and we'll make sure that you get home safely.
Why did we need her?
You weren't able to do it.
You couldn't just think that I was just stressed out at work, stressed out with you being gone, stressed out with Nacho being sick. You couldn't just think that? I'm 9 weeks.
So why didn't you tell me?
Because I didn't.
What was the big deal? Like,
Your actions. I wanted to know what were you doing? If you couldn't even take care of your son when he's sick, what makes me think?
In layman's terms,
That
she's
you're
just
gonna
worried
take care
to
of our
tell
kid.
you about her being 9 weeks pregnant because she doesn't know what you're doing because you didn't communicate that to her.
nothing I can say is going to prove it right now. Is
No,
it?
it's
If
not.
nothing you're going to
It's
say
not
is going
really.
to prove it, would you submit to a polygraph?
I would.
If we could set that up?
Yeah. Imagine me standing here in front of national TV with lights shining down, looking like a cheater when I was doing something, doing something good.
Well, I'll leave it at this. What I'm offering right now on her behalf is counseling and a polygraph. If you're willing to submit to a polygraph test and he does pass, will you believe him that this was for the right intentions?
Yeah, I mean...
Why would that? Why do we have to go through all that just to prove?
You put me through all this. That's simple right there.
If you have nothing
that's
to hide,
asking
you have
for
nothing to
nothing.
worry about. It's
If you have nothing to
I
hide,
can do
then
it, but we're gonna have trust issues for the rest of our relationship. For the rest.
you
of our
don't think
marriage.
I already have?
Okay, at this point in time, I'm gonna take her because she's obviously not in the best mood, and you two will come in for counseling, do the polygraph, and you'll have nothing to worry about if you have nothing to hide, Adam.
All right.
Are you ready?
Will that make you happy? So let's do it.
All right, come on, right this way. Let's go. Following the confrontation, Claudia assesses her state of mind. Soon, Cheaters discloses her plans. But first, Morgan Hughes comes forward to deflect blame surrounding the events leading up to being confronted by her husband on Cheaters.
Well, when he got there, I was really shocked and I was embarrassed. And it was just like commotion. It was bad. It was just not, it was a scene that I didn't want that to happen. It was just not a good time at all.
What the y'all doing here? Morgan, get your ass out of here. You, dude. You shut the hell up. Get out of my, get out of my thing. Damn it. My house. Get me in here, man. What are you doing here? Get your ass out here, Morgan.
Seth would go out to the bar and, sometimes he would come back, drunk and smelling like cigarettes and just, I would get kind of, annoyed at that. So, when I met him, we had a connection and I've never felt that before. We just started, hanging out and I really, even though he did, live in a really not good place by a dumpster, but he was just very nice and sweet to me, so I liked that, and we just really hit it off.
You have nothing to say, Morgan, at all?
No.
For 7 years?
You think you're big with all your money? Yeah, dude. All your money. Work for my. Yeah, big with your money, don't you? I work for my. Damn money, don't you? I work for my. You do, Morgan.
No.
Morgan,
Get in the van.
you don't
What's
think you
wrong
owe
with
some
you?
answers?
Why you come up here?
Hey, man,
You're
can I
an
get your side of the story?
alcoholic. Every day at the damn bar?
So this is what you resort to? 7 years? What does this mean to you?
I do feel sorry for Seth because, that's, was my husband. We were together and I feel bad and that I hurt him and let him down. It is what it is. And in the future, I see us doing really good things and being together. I see us, working, getting educated, going to school, and just, who knows, even along the road, have a family and kids. So we're just gonna take it as it is, day by day.
Following the confrontation, Claudia Adams decides to give her husband the benefit of the doubt and waits until the results of his lie detector test come in. Claudia admits she's concerned for her future as well as the child on the way. She claims, "Right now, I'm concentrating on keeping my stress levels down for my baby's sake." As for his part, Adam Adams willingly participates in a lie detector test. The results of the lie detector test were delivered in time for airing of this episode. Adams, as it turned out, is truthful and enjoys exculpation for any and all wrongdoing. When contacted by Cheater's producers, the companion, Amelia, immediately gushes forth about being sorry she was caught up in the misunderstanding. Amelia claims, "Like I said, I'm an egg donor, that's all. There wasn't any fishy hanky-panky going on. I'm legit. They just need to talk more."
If you don't get your programming from Goldstein's, why, we'll both lose money.